everyone, and welcome back to a brand new edition of The Odds Honest Truth. I am Craig Gorbanoff. Sorry this is coming up a little bit late. That one's on me, and that's why I am solo hosting this show. But don't worry, we have all kinds of picks and plays coming at you from all the friends and family over at Odds Honest Truth. If you are not involved yet, you got to check out the Chalkboard app and join our Odds Honest Truth community. It is a great message board with all kinds of picks and plays and best bets every single day of the week. It's incredibly active. We'll talk about it a little bit more in detail with founder Ted Mauze. Thank you so much to everyone at the In the Money Media Network. Peter Thomas Fornatel, Jonathan Kinchin, Drew Coatney. Having a lot of fun here. Make sure you like and subscribe everywhere so that it helps the show out immensely and lets people know they're watching. All right, guys, let's dive right into it and kick things off with our interview with Ted Mauze of Chalkbaord. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new edition of The Odds Honest Truth. To be honest, I don't know exactly what we're placing in the show yet, so I'm treating it like a cold open. I'm producer Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Seagors94. That guy right over there, Rich Wilhelm, at Coda522. And right down here below, we got Ted Mauze of Chalkbaord. We did not prearrange for you to get your Twitter on StreamYard. That's a producer on my part.
Yep.
Where can we find you on Twitter, Ted?
I actually don't even know my Twitter handle. Let's pull it up. How about Chalkboard HQ? Let's
Chalkboard HQ. There it is.
Chalkboard HQ. Yep. Let's do that.
And Rich and I were so very excited to be working with you guys over at Chalkboard. We're having so much fun in our Chalkboard community. For anyone who is listening to the show and has not yet downloaded the Chalkboard app, please do so, and please join our Chalkboard community at Odds Honest Truth. We have a board for every single major sport. We're giving out picks every single day. Just the other day, an 11 pick parlay hit and was shared right there in the community. Insane stuff going on in the Odds Honest Truth Chalkboard community. But obviously, it's a lot of fun. It's really fun to talk sports with your friends, share your plays directly all within the app, and track everything right there. It's an incredible Gamecast feature. So, Ted, congratulations on an incredible product.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for having me on. This is awesome.
Well, thanks for coming on. I mean, we've been talking about the product for weeks. My favorite thing about the product, I'm just going to say it because I'm a little conceited here. I get to see how much I've won since I linked my my little sports book there and see every week, that I'm in the green, which is awesome. So, if you ever want to mess with your friends, that's the best way to do it. The last 30 that you placed, you can say, hey, I'm 16-14 and you're 8-22, so I'm better than you.
100%. I'm not sure if you just pulled my exact stats, Rich, but like that is a problem that I have that you don't have. Yeah. Right? Is the book sync is an awesome feature, but it is
not when you're cold.
It is exposing for people like myself. So I get it.
Well, nowhere but up, Ted. I mean, that's what the community is all about. So
I came on this show to lean on you guys for some plays. So I'm here for that reason only.
Perfect.
Absolutely. So, Ted, obviously we've been talking a lot about Chalkboard. We've been talking about it on the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit just how you guys got the idea for Chalkboard, how it came to be, and why don't you just give us a little bit of background on the app?
Yeah. So our story is of three best friends that grew up together in a small town in a commuter town in San Francisco. So just north of San Francisco. Parker, Will, and myself co-founded the business back in 2019. But our story starts when we were, 12. We were playing Little League baseball. That's when we got to know each other. So we were youngsters, right? Grew really close in high school, ended up going separate ways for college. And when we did, we found that sports betting was an incredible way to stay in touch with your buddies, right? Same reason your fantasy football league is a great reason to come back every fall and see your friends or just chat with your buddies. Sports betting for us was nightly, right? And so 18-year-old idiots winning and losing money, and iMessage having a great time, losing way more money than we were winning. But anyway, it's just like that social experience was embedded in sports betting for us, right? And like we were living the product before the product even existed. So fast forward to 2019, the repeal of PASPA, sports betting coming online in the United States. We kind of looked around the group in our group chat and iMessage, like, hey, we've been young consumers in this space for the better half of a decade, right? Like these group chats are everywhere. They're in iMessage, they're in GroupMe, they're in Facebook Messenger. Can we productize what we love about sports betting, right? The group chat, the sweats, like the finger pointing, the laughter. We wanted to build a product for that.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. And Rich and I, for years, have had a group Twitter chat that we have a little community of sports writers and sports fans, and we talk fantasy and stuff in it. But what I really love about the Chalkboard product is how we're able to kind of get everyone in that one board and then break it all out by like sport, by topic, by whatever. And really kind of hone in and stuff. It's a ton of fun for me because I have a lot of interest in a lot of different sports. I skew a little more on the NFL, NBA side, but I like to dabble here or there in some of my other sports as well. And it's really been a ton of fun for us to use personally.
Yeah, I mean, it also lets people kind of broaden their horizons too. I mean, I know my friends are texting me saying, "Hey, I watched a hockey game for the first time in like 3 years because I have a bet on it." I had nothing to do. Like, there's people that have no idea, who's playing on the ice that night, but we have the board, and they're like, "There's a $25 bet in there. Let me try to, tail this." So I mean, it's really fun. It makes people kind of watch the game. You have something. A betted interest. We're Jets fans. We say it all the time. There's no reason to watch football at this point, besides if you have a bet on the game. Totally. So, I mean, the biggest question is, we have the product in front of us. We're using it. All of our viewers are, honing in and using it. What is next for you guys? What is the next thing that, people could kind of expect to see in the app in the coming weeks, months?
Yeah, great question. So there are still a ton of fixes to be made. So we just launched boards, right? And you guys have your own company board, and you have these channels and these spaces to have these conversations, which is great. Tons of fixes need to be made first and foremost before we get too far out ahead of ourselves in terms of new features. But in terms of like what's on the horizon, we're starting to work with an analytics company to build analytics research tools into Chalkboard, because our goal at the end of the day, guys, is we want to build an experience that allows a sports bettor to fall into with their friends and not go anywhere else, right? You go to FanDuel, you go to DraftKings, you go to Caesars to place your bets, but you're 99%, right? Like you're sweating of the bets, you're researching of the bets, like all of that experience we want to live in Chalkboard. So whether that's analytics, whether that's content, further social features, right? Like there is so much that we can do with the groundwork that we've laid. We just need to make sure that we don't go too crazy. We need to make sure we fix the stuff that needs to be fixed first, right?
Well, let me start by saying the one thing that you should never fix is your game cast. I mean, I feel like Craig and I, we live and breathe by that game cast because it's the fastest thing. It's
fast.
How does that happen? Can you explain how that happens?
I am not the engineer. I am like the cheerleader that like somehow raised us some money to build this product. I can't even explain how fast it is, but it is to a certain degree too fast, right? Like you'll be watching your television and it's like delayed based on what you're seeing in Chalkboard, which is good from a betting perspective. But you also have to know that the sports books are just as fast, right, as Chalkboard, if not faster. But it's crazy. I don't know why it's so fast. I don't know.
Are you guys like in the stadiums? Like, are they at every game or like on the sidelines?
Yeah. So our data feed is yes. So the Sport Radar company literally feeds live data from each and every game into the data feed, and then we pull in a Chalkboard.
All right. Well, you need to tell company B and C to get on board because B and C is not as good. So
or maybe not. Keep them.
You're right. Keep that to yourself. But we're having so much fun with everything. We're having so much fun with you guys. What is the new addition as far as with NCAA basketball or something like that? I mean, are you guys going to kind of dive into that?
Yeah. So NCAA basketball is on the beta. It's about to get pushed to the live production. So that's coming any minute. And then, I mean, football season is everything for the most part, right? Like I think as sports bettors, we all agree that betting on football, there's nothing like it. So we are going to enjoy the season for as long as possible, and then turn our attention to at least focusing on the product side to March Madness, right? Thinking about ways in which we can grow the business, grow the product. Like you kind of pick and choose really big sporting events, and March Madness is huge, right? So making sure that the product is especially ready for that moment is going to be what we do next.
All right. Well, let's talk about the sports you already have in there. I mean, I don't want to keep saying what's next. What do you already have on Chalkboard right now that people can track and bet and talk with their friends about?
Yeah. So the easiest way to explain it is we're like the social version of Action Network, right? Where you can come to Chalkboard, you can track your bets manually if you're in a state that doesn't have legal sports betting, or you can sync your sports book if you're in a state with legal sports betting. But we have NFL, we've got college basketball, or soon have college basketball, NBA, NHL, college football, and did I say NHL? The point is we have most of the major sports that are live right now. And the really cool logic of how our platform works is, for those that don't know, you sync your sports book, that flows into your profile, and then all of those scores flow into your group chat, right? And the way that we think about our product is, if I'm a user and I connect to my sports book, I only want to see the scores that I care about, right? Like, I want to think about the bets that I have live and make sure that I'm tracking them easily. I don't want to be doing this app toggle to find the game cast or the bet that I placed from FanDuel. Chalkboard is trying to streamline that, right? So you sync your sports book, it flows into our application, and then we build the little world around you.
Yeah, that's really the coolest part for me is when we're in our chat and we've been talking about these 5 games or whatever. The fact that those 5 games are cycling right on the top there. Yeah. You don't have to leave. Once you've placed your bets and everything, you don't have to leave, which is what's really cool. Although on occasion Rich throws out a, hey, they're gonna punt on the next possession, put $100 down on this.
which I did last night. I did do that because I was down because I bet a parlay. But Chalkboard like told me they punted before the TV did, like you said. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing punts because Chalkboard is saying, let's go.
Hammer it. Yeah. So the other thing, guys, too, that's on the horizon is just thinking in terms of personalization within Chalkboard, right? You sync your sports book, you're getting those scores, right? Your group chat and the score banner. We want to build bet notifications. We want to build injury notifications that are specific to your bets. Like, there's so much we can do once we have Ted Mauze's sports betting data. It's just a question of what do we build first, right? And people are banging down our door for bet notifications. I think everyone loves just having those delivered to your inbox, sort of.
That's huge. I mean, because at the end of the day, people who sports bet want to do nothing. They want to play their bet, collect their money, and just leave. If you don't have to look at anything and you get a nice text notification, hey, your bet hit.
Yeah,
the sky's the limit.
It's that simple. Yeah, people will sign up very quickly. Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
And 100%. We talk about what's coming up on the horizon for Chalkboard, but really the product right now is so good. Everyone that's listening right now should really, serious, pull out your phone right now, download Chalkboard, join the OHT community, and you too can win this 11-team NBA parlay that longtime listener and friend Alberto Torres is just dropping on a Monday afternoon. I mean, come on, what other place in the world can you talk to like-minded NBA bettors and get this kind of action? It's insane.
Let me just tell you how this worked. You know how you sometimes in the past got a text like saying you up? That's the text I got from Alberto this morning. You up? And I was like, oh, someone's frisky. And then boom. And then I was like,
11
yeah. So I mean, we're all excited. I have people who have never sports bet or now sports betting because of this app. Yeah. And like I said before, there's so many people watching random sports just because they have money on it. So you're already bringing that community together. I know the main goal is to grow your audience, which is what we're doing here on the show.
Yeah.
I really think the sky's the limit. You guys have a perfect product, which you're fixing and adding by the day. Yeah. Perfect to me, Ted. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. So, I appreciate it.
And Rich, you mentioned that we're bringing in all new sports bettors in the Money Media Network. One of our favorite sayings is degenerate horse player, degenerate gamblers, just a whole mess of degenerates is what we want to bring to the table. We're very excited to be expanding and growing this sports betting community with you, Ted. Ted, is there anything else you wanted to add about the Chalkboard product, about Odds Honest Truth, about anything you like betting this season, any of your angles? The floor is yours. You're on the hot seat. Anything else you want to add?
No, guys. I mean, look, we as a company, as a small startup, are really excited to be working with both of you. Truthfully, like as we start to think about building out communities within Chalkbaord, you guys were, top of our list for a very long time. So having this opportunity to come on the show to chat about Odds Honest Truth board and think about ways in which we can build the product together. I think that should be my concluding message, is because we're such a young company and our product so early. We are taking so much feedback from guys like you, from people in your board, from people in other boards. Like we are just getting started in terms of what we can build over the next couple of years. So jump in the board, bet with Rich, tail Rich, because,
he's on fire.
Rich is on fire. And, feed us feedback, like tell us what you want, right? As a product builder, the scariest thing you can do is just build entirely off of gut. And so we built Chalkbaord in a messaging platform, which lends itself well to gathering feedback.
Yeah. That's awesome. A CEO that listens to the people. Now that's someone you want to follow.
That's all it is, man. That's any business though, Rich, right? For the most part.
That's why some businesses don't work, Ted. Sometimes they just get, they have their own vision. They don't listen to the people that are actually helping them. So that's great that you guys are listening to the audience. That's what's going to make you successful.
Appreciate it.
Ted, thanks so much for joining us again. We're recording this before the other parts of the show. I don't know where I'm placing in this show, so I'm just going to wrap up this segment right now. It's all going to come together in the sauce. Ted, thanks so much for joining us again, and we'll have you on back real soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
So I guess I'm taking the throwback from myself, so thanks past Craig for throwing it to current Craig. Next up on the show, we have a brand new face to the Odds Honest Truth main show, but if you follow us on Twitter at Odds Honest Truth, you may have seen him make his debut earlier this week. We're going to head on over to Thomas with some NHL plays.
What's going on, guys? This is Tom Crincoli with the Odds Honest Truth podcast, bringing you some NHL picks for Thursday, November 18th. We've been doing pretty well lately. I think the picks are like 9-2 over the past 3 nights that I've given out picks online. So we're going to keep up the pace. Hopefully things keep hitting. I got 3 to 4 favorite picks tonight. I would say 3, and I'll add in a bonus one today. So I'm going to start the night off, and we're going to go kind of all around the board here, not in order or in particular order, but I'm going to say my favorite pick tonight, and I think some of the best value you can get tonight is the Dallas Stars against the Minnesota Wild. The Dallas Stars are coming into the season with an amazing roster. You got Joe Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin down the middle, and then they have a bunch of young studs like Rupe Hintz and Jason Robertson, plus that young back end with Miro Heiskanen, John Klingberg. There's a bunch of young studs on this team. They should not be struggling the way they are, and they just came out of their shell with Jake Ottinger's first NHL start. He put on a show against the Red Wings, and I expect him to do that against the Wild. So I think you're going to get great value in grabbing the Dallas Stars against the Minnesota Wild for plus 130 money line odds. If you're not feeling comfortable there, throw it on the puck line. Go plus 1.5. I think it's minus 160, and then do the old Tommy sprinkle on that money line, and then sprinkle on the puck line as well. You're going to do great if you go either way. I really like the Stars tonight. You look at the Minnesota Wild's roster. They have Freddie Gaudreau as their number one center right now. I don't know if it's because Joel Eriksson Ek's been bumped to that second line, but outside of Kirill Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Fiala, there's not a lot going for this team. And I think the Dallas Stars are just coming out of their shell. Take the Dallas Stars tonight. I don't think you'll regret it. That's our number one pick for the night. Next pick on this slate, it's going to be an under, and that is the New Jersey Devils versus the Florida Panthers. You got Mackenzie Blackwood in net. You got maybe Sergei Bobrovsky, maybe Spencer Knight in net. Goaltending matchups are still to be determined, but the Devils roster is injured. They're going to have to really play this game tight. They're going to have to play the Panthers tight if they're going to want to stay in this game. So I think with the 2 great goaltenders, they're not giving a lot of goals. I think they're both ranked within the top 10 of goals against average, save percentage. Devils aren't going to get a lot of goals with the roster that they're putting up with so many injuries. So take the under here. If it's under 6 still, you can get that at minus 115 odds. If you get it early enough, I think that's a steal. So that's my second pick for the night. Go with the Devils versus Panthers under. Okay, my third play on tonight's slate or Thursday night slate is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning at the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers put on actually a pretty good show against the Flames the other night. But if you're looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, this roster is a wagon. If you can get them at minus 135 money line odds, I think that's a steal. Still one of the best teams in the league. Vasilevsky's projected to start. So go with Vasilevsky, go with the Lightning, minus 135. I think that's a pretty safe bet. If you lose out there, not a lot of people are going to see that coming. I think it's a very safe play to take the Tampa Bay Lightning minus 135 against a Philadelphia team that just came off their high horse against the Flames in a tough one. Take the Lightning. Not going to regret it. Okay, my last pick for the night is going to be the New York Rangers versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to go over 5.5. I know Jack Campbell's having a stellar season. He's no longer a backup, and he's going to get paid this offseason. Igor Shesterkin, he is a bona fide number one stud in net for the Rangers. So where am I going with this? I think we're looking at two offenses that are gelling right now. I think that they are going to put up goals no matter what. I think it's going to be a run and gun game. You look at what Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. Chris Kreider is a top 3 scorer in the league right now. And then you have Willie Nylander, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. Everyone on both these offenses are going at a high rate. I don't think it's going to be a friendly night for the goalies. I don't think in any situation, if these goalies weren't playing as well as they are, this would easily be a 6.5 over. So take it while it's low. Buy it low. Shoot for that over. It's going to be a good win. So we'll finish up with a recap. That is a Dallas Stars money line. You can get them at plus 130 right now. We'll jump into the New Jersey Devils at Florida Panthers and take that under 6. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning money line at minus 135. That is incredible value against the Flyers. The Tampa Bay Lightning are still one of the best teams in the league. And then we'll wrap up with the New York Rangers at Toronto Maple Leafs with the over 5.5. That's not enough goals. Give them some more goals. That's too easy. Those are my picks for tonight. Thanks for listening. Let's win, everyone.
Welcome back in. NCAA time, my time on this show. Again, second straight week. Give you a lock. Give you something to really hammer home. And it comes through for us. And remember, folks, what I give out here, I give out more on the chalkboard, message board pages. Got to get on that. That's a lot of fun. It's grown by the day. More and more people contributing. So hop on it. Folks, went 2-1. Miami really cost me badly. That's a game that should have absolutely went over, and we miss it by 3. It is what it is. We move on. Don't get bogged down in the past. This week, got 3 plays for you, my usual. And we're going to have more come Saturday on the Odds Honest Truth Twitter page and the message board. So got to get in it if you want to see it. First off, let me go to the Big Ten. I'm going to go and give you a team that I gave out last week on the message board as another play. They have, statistically speaking, the best defense in the country, and that's Wisconsin. This defense has been absolutely suffocating. They're at home. They're playing Nebraska. Yes, Scott Frost isn't coaching for his job. He got an extension a few weeks back. And look, Nebraska is a feisty team, but right now you're running into a buzzsaw. You're running into a team that is absolutely locked on it. The defense is just absolutely suffocating. Number 1 in efficiency. They hold their opponents to more than 200 yards less than what they average right now. I mean, this is like some premier stuff, and Nebraska's offense just can't keep up with this. Wisconsin laying 9.5 at home. I think they're going to get it done. And Braylon Allen, the freshman running back, he looks like he's the prototypical Wisconsin running back. So it looks like all things are fixed. And Graham Mertz, just has to be that game manager. I like the Badgers from Madison, minus 9.5. Let's go to Conference USA. a team that really I just hate. I just hate them. I swore them off, but I'm at the point now where I have to play them, and that is the Mean Green from North Texas. They travel to Miami to take on FIU. North Texas is closing in on bowl eligibility. They got to win this one. They got to win their last one to get there, and I think it's very possible because coming off a big win against UTEP, 2 prior wins to beat Rice, and they beat Southern Miss, kind of the dregs of Conference USA. They beat Southern Miss by 20, 24 in a game that was never close. And I think you see the 2 bottom teams here in the Conference USA, FIU and Southern Miss. FIU, Butch Davis leaving the program. He says it's been sabotaged. Last week, they just got blown out by MTSU. Middle Tennessee laid a 50-burger on them. You have about 25 guys injured. It's not even COVID cases, it's just injuries. You're playing with second, third string guys, and there's just not talent there. And the only reason why this number's 10.5 right now is because North Texas really isn't that great. But they're great enough to cover double digits against this FIU team. So on the road, give me the Mean Green. And I'm going to give you a total play here. Now, life's too short to bet the under. This week, though, we are going to bet the under. I'm going to take under 64 in the Ole Miss Vandy game, hotty toddy. Look, we got a big game coming up on Turkey Day. The biggest game of the week happens to be in the great state of Mississippi, as we're going to see Mike Leach and his boys from Stark Vegas take on Ole Miss and the Lane Train. And I'm already talking about this game, forgetting the fact that they are playing Vandy on Saturday. This is a pure, just throw the ball out there, do what you got to do your thing, and let's keep the points to a minimum. Matt Corral's not going to be out there the whole game. Jerry Neely's not going to be out there the whole game. The defense is much improved. Kenny Seals and that Vandy team is just blah. It's bad, folks. So I can totally see like a 40-17, 34-13, something like that. I'm going to ride with those 3 plays. Ole Miss, once again, trying to preserve things as they look forward to the Egg Bowl on Thursday, under 64 there. North Texas, minus 10.5 against the Panthers. And, of course, the Badgers from Madison, minus 9.5. Folks, stay tuned. Going to have a lot more this Saturday on the Odds Honest Truth Board. But until next time, back to you, Craig.
And now with a big Thursday night football matchup coming up tonight, let's kick it over to our main man, Rich, who's going to tell you how to get paid tonight watching the NFL.
All right, guys. So we're going to start with my my bread and butter, which has been Thursday night football. As weird as that sounds, it's all the bets have been hitting on Thursday night. This is another game that's going to be a very interesting game. You got the Patriots, who are over exceeding all expectations. Then you got the Falcons, who were underperforming. They're down a lot of players, so Matt Ryan's trying to do it all, and it's very, very hard for him to do. So one player that is helping Matt Ryan this year is Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts, I expect to be the player that the Patriots try to eliminate, which they always do every single game. Bill Belichick, that's the Belichick way. He's going to try to eliminate one player, and I don't think it's going to work. I think Kyle Pitts has the ability to still catch the ball, even though he can be double covered. He is making it known that he is worth the pick he was picked at early on by the Falcons. So Kyle Pitts, his over this week is 63.5 yards, with Calvin Ridley still being out, with Patterson being a game-time decision. Even if he plays, I really think that Kyle Pitts can beat this line almost every single week. So if you want to bet Kyle Pitts over 63.5, $25 wins you $51.25. That's plus money. that's pretty good. That's more than double for a bet that I think is going to be easy. Damian Harris was out last week. Stevenson showed that he can run the ball. But Damian Harris has been a very underrated running back this year. I think he's one of the most dependable fantasy options. He's definitely a running back that I love to have on my team. And I think his over-under this week is lower, obviously, because he didn't play last week. His over-under this week is 51.5, which I think he can have by halftime against this Falcons defense. I think Stevenson's going to get, obviously a little more looks just based on how he played last week. And you can even see Bolden getting a couple carries as well. But $25 wins you $46.74. I really think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So I could see both offenses kind of helping you out as far as what the betting goes. Let's go right back to the Falcons. I mean, Matt Ryan, like I said, Patterson is a game-time decision. So that means Matt Ryan's going to have to throw the ball over the field. Kyle Pitts we already got. I think Matt Ryan's going to get his 1.5 passing touchdowns. So $25 wins you $57.50. This is going to be maybe one that doesn't cash until the third quarter, but I really do think that he gets the 2 passing touchdowns. If you're watching this show from the past couple weeks, you know that we always like to play the hot hand. And honestly, what is a bigger hot hand right now than Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry scored a touchdown, I think, in 6 of the last 7 Patriots games. So let's do it again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So $25 on an anytime touchdown is $72.50. It's almost 3 times the amount of your bet for something that has hit 6 out of 7 weeks. Now I know that past performance is not indicative of future performance. Someone told me that. Maybe someone that's on this show. His name is Ted. But I like it. I like the trends. I see the trend. I'm betting the trend. Hunter Henry, anytime touchdown, $25 wins you $72.50. And last but not least, you guys know I love kickers. I love an easy bet with extra points. And if you think your team's going to score a certain amount of touchdowns, you probably think the extra point's going to go in. Nick Folk is very reliable for the Patriots. Over 2.5 extra points, $25 wins you $45.83. So just to recap Thursday Night Football, we're going to add more, obviously, on the Twitter at OddsHonestTruth. Kyle Pitts, over 63.5 yards, $25 wins you $51.25. Damian Harris, over 51.5 yards rushing, $25 wins you $46.74. Matt Ryan, over 1.5 passing touchdowns, $25 wins you $57.50. Hunter Henry, anytime touchdown, $25 wins you $72.50. And last but not least, the Folk hero, Nick Folk, over 2.5 extra points, 3 touchdowns, that's all you need. $25 wins you $45.83. So Thursday we're going to start fast and furious, and we're going to have all the money for Sunday. Back to you, Craig.
Thank you so much, Rich. From the NFL over to the NBA, we got a brand new face of the Odds Honest Truth Network, but he has been giving out picks over on our Chalkboard community. Nate, tell us how to make some money betting basketball.
What's up, guys? It's Nate from the First and Foremost podcast, and I'm here to tell you some NBA bets that's for sure going to put some money in your pocket. First game I want to talk about are the Clippers versus the Grizzlies. And with that being said, you know who I'm going with. Paul George, playoff P. He's averaging 27 points a game, and he's going up against a Grizzlies team that's not that great defensively. I expect Paul George to go for 30 this game. Next game I want to talk about are the Sixers versus the Nuggets. And with Joel Embiid missing his 5th straight game, I expect the reigning MVP, the Joker, Nikola Jokic, to dominate this game. I expect him to go for 25, 15, and a sneaky 5 assists. Staying with that same game, I want to flip to the other team, the 76ers, with Seth Curry. He's shooting an outstanding 46.9% from three-point range this year. I expect him to hit at least 2 threes in this game. And with the last game, I want to go with the Jazz versus the Raptors. And the Raptors don't have a true center, a true big man down there. And with the multi-time defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert, lurking down there, I expect him to have at least 17 rebounds. I hope this plays out for you guys. And remember, I know you want to watch the game, but first and foremost, put them bets in.
And now taking a look over at NFL Sunday, let's head on over back to Rich, who's going to give you his best bets of the weekend.
So this week, I'm going to keep it simple with these spreads because obviously we have a lot of people on with a lot of different bets and a lot of different sports, which we absolutely love. You guys got to let us know if you're loving these NHL, NBA, NCAA bets on top of the NFL because obviously, NFL, we kill it every week. We want to be able to kill it in every single sport. So I'm going to just give you 3 this week as far as spreads. I'm going to start with the Baltimore Ravens minus 4.5 against the Bears. $25 wins you $47.73. The Ravens are just a very talented team. The Bears, I think the only reason as close as it is because of how they ended last week against the Steelers. So, I think that this spread would be a lot bigger if there wasn't some late game heroics and, return touchdowns and one long bomb from Fields. Even though the refs definitely helped the Steelers against the Bears when they played, I think the Ravens handled this game pretty easily. I think 4.5 is a gift. I can see the Ravens winning by like 14 points. So 25 wins you 47-73. Second game, 49ers minus 6 against the Jaguars. 49ers just beat up the Rams. Rams are a Super Bowl contender team. The Jaguars are not. The Jaguars are a bottom 5 team who just keep kind of deteriorating. Robinson's probably going to play this week for the Jags. But with the 49ers, you just have a well-rounded team. And I'm not saying Jimmy G is the best, but I'm saying Jimmy G is definitely serviceable. Kittle is showing that he is, the top 3 tight end that he is. Deebo Samuel, is he the most underrated player in the NFL right now? It's possible. Definitely a top 10 wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver, I would say at this point. And he can score on every single play. So $25 wins you $47.73. Again, 6 points I think is a gift. This is another game where I think the 49ers will win by 14 points. And last but not least, Cincinnati Bengals minus 1 against the Raiders. The Raiders are kind of falling apart at the seams. They were doing really well in the beginning of the season, and then just a lot of distractions are happening. They're kind of just falling apart. Carr is not playing up to the standards of what he was before. They don't really have a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver. They don't even have a clear-cut number 2 wide receiver. I guess you could say Bryan Edwards. You could say Hunter Renfrow. You could say Deshaun Jackson. There's just a collective number 3 wide receivers on the team, and Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs, who sometimes when he runs, I just think he's going to get hurt. I'm always waiting for the injury, which is unfortunate, and I don't think, I think if they have any chance beating Bengals, it has to be the Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller show. But I don't think it's going to work this week with Bengals. I think the Bengals definitely are ready to come back and compete for their division. They're in the thick of it right now. So it's only 1 point. $25 wins you $47.73. If you feel crazy about 1 point, think it's going to be a tie, whatever, do the money line. But I think the Bengals get this. I think they win by, 7 to 10 points. So just to recap, Ravens minus 4.5, $25 wins you $47.73 against the Bears. San Francisco 49ers minus 6, $25 wins you $47.73 against the Jaguars. And the Bengals minus 1, $25 wins you $47.73 against the Raiders. So 3 spread bets. We'll have more again on our Twitter, Odds Honest Truth. So check it out. And Craig, back to you.
Thank you so much, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's main show of Odds Honest Truth. One thing Rich and I are starting to do is put out some little mini best bets and shows every Sunday morning on Twitter. So make sure you follow us at Odds Honest Truth for those Sunday morning plays. Make sure you download the Chalkboard app and join the Odds Honest Truth board. It's a one-of-a-kind, first ever social betting app that integrates directly with your sportsbook and is a great way to share your picks and plays with friends, with family, or just random people you met online like us who are some fellow degenerate gamblers. We're having a lot of fun over there. You got to check it out. Chalkbaord, find it on the App Store, or check us out over on Twitter. We have the link pinned over there as well. Okay, that is going to do it for this week's show. We hope we got you paid. Leave your picks in the comment player below. Tweet at us your favorite picks of the week. Thank you so much to Nate and to Ted and to Thomas and to Rich and for everybody who submitted a video. Thank you to everyone over at the In the Money Media Network. We have a lot of fun making this show, so make sure you like, subscribe, and support everything on the network so that we can keep doing it. My name is Producer Craig. For everyone I just mentioned and for all you at home, thank you so much for watching. And until next week, allegedly, that'll do it.